Hey everybody, this is Robert with RC1 Hobbies, and we're going to be doing a shock end replacement on my Outcast. On my last outing, I did some really huge jumps, so I need to replace a shock eyelet. It stripped broke the eyelet, so we want to replace that. I got the parts in, and now we got to do that. So we're going to take off the wheel to gain access to that area. And there it is, the broken eyelet. So we're going to have to, also the dog bone came out, so I had to put the dog bone in while replacing the shock back into position. I'm going to remove the body. Now we can see a little better. There it is. Now we could take the shock off. That would be an option, or we can remove the spring keeper, remove the spring. Now we have clear access to the eyelet, or the shock end, which snapped. So I went to my local hobby town in Melbourne. We'll see how simple this can be. I'm gonna cut the bag open just enough to get the shock end out. Alright, we need to get that old end off so we can put the new end on. So we use this cloth here. Twist off the old one. And when you feel the resistance, that's when you stop. And now we have to remove this pin here. We can take the vice grip off. We're done with that part. We can move the shock out of the way. We got to remove this pin to insert the ball for the cup, which is held in by this pin here. So remove that pin, and we can remove the ball. Then we reinstall that in the eyelet. And there's a couple of ways to do that. One way I do it is I get the vice grip, line it up, pop it in, just like that. And now we can put this shock back in, but before we secure it, we want to get our drive shaft, our dog bone, back in position. So it looks like it stretched quite a bit, so we're going to have to go down a lot, or we're going to have to take loose this camber link, which is not a major deal. Take our 2mm, and then we're having a storm outside, so we're getting some fluctuations in the power grid. Alright, that's loose. Now we put the drive shaft or dog bone in. Sometimes to line up this little ball is not easy, but it needs to go in as flush as possible, or going in cockeyed sometimes can scar up the side of the hub carrier. So it looks like we got it. Drive shaft's in. this doesn't need to be over tight either, because it has a stopping point which gives it to where tightening it anymore will not do any good. So a good firm half a turn or so after it's snug is good. Drive shaft is in. Now we can put the shock spring back on with the keeper right there. And put our pin in. Tighten up our screw to hold the pin in. Another one that doesn't need to be crazy tight, just a half a turn after snug. Alright, we're back to functioning correctly now. Drive lines on. Old eyelet to the trash. Put on the wheel. Wheel nut. Wrench. This one should be pretty tight. Doesn't have to be crazy over tight as you can get it, but it does need to be nice and snug tight, because we're putting a lot of spin on that. And that does it. So thanks for watching the eyelet replacement video. Be sure to hit like or leave some comment. Until next time, RC1 Hobbies. See you.